What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video to recap the Jets Broncos loss for the New York Jets as they fall to 0-6, a 13-11 loss in London. I would like to apologize to everyone overseas who had to watch that slop fest that they think is American football, but we know it personally as Jets football. Yes, we decide to willingly watch that every single week. I apologize to the rest of the national audience that watched that absolutely disgraceful performance from the New York Jets. We will break it all down. We are brought to you by Sleeper on the post-game show. Think you know football, then try to turn your football knowledge into real money with the Sleeper app. The ultimate fantasy sports app that can turn game day into payday. Just download the Sleeper app and pick more or less on your favorite players with more stats than any other daily fantasy app. Just choose two or more of your favorite players. You can do it pregame or live. Use my promo code O'Leary and you can get up to a 1,000 times hit if you're on your money, if your picks win. Use code O'Leary and you'll get up to $100 match on your first deposit or a free $20 no deposit required promo that they are currently running. Terms and conditions apply. All right, let's get into this one. The New York Jets win the toss and decide to defer. They're going to put their defense out on the field first. And wouldn't you know it, something that hasn't happened through the first 5 games of the season, the New York Jets force a turnover. Jarvis Brownlee, fresh into the New York Jets. He only played 7 games the previous week. This week, he was all over the field. Really a solid addition and productive player today for the New York Jets. He punches out a fumble. Andre Sisco recovers it. The Jets in great field position to start the day, and they get a turnover. Awesome. Unfortunately, the Jets go 3 and out and have to settle for a field goal. That would be the theme of the day. They would go 3 and out constantly. So they hit the field goal, go up 3-0. The Broncos, they pick up a first down. Stevens gets beat on a slant. Stevens, he's been playing better and was okay today. But if you're going to play press coverage, can you at least get hands on a wide receiver? Please. False starts end up backing the Broncos up a little bit. The Broncos send out Will Lutz for a 57-yarder, and because it's against the Jets, it goes through and would have been good from 67 yards. All right, Jets get an unbelievable kick return from Kene Nwanu. They've missed him greatly. He's got like 3 career returns for the Jets, and every one of them has been huge. Great field position. What do the Jets do? 3 and out, settle for another field goal. So you get a turnover in plus territory and a huge return into Denver territory, and it counts for 6 points. Great. All right, the Broncos, they're kind of, holding backs them up. Then the Jets get aggressive to the ball. They look a little bit better. And then, unfortunately, the dam starts to break a little bit on this drive. They end up giving up a touchdown, spoiler alert, but they would be overall very good today. What went wrong on this drive was Jamie Sherwood. Oh, dear heavens. Okay, 4th and 5. They keep the offense out, pick up a first down. Jamie Sherwood beat in coverage by Evan Ingram. Then again, Evan Ingram beats the Jets in the zone. He finds a spot between Sherwood and Sisco, picks up 16. And then you get a busted coverage, wide open touchdown for the Denver Broncos. And it seemed like a miscommunication between Sherwood and Sauce Gardner. Sherwood thought he was taking the flat on the zone. Sauce Gardner followed the post or crosser over the middle, whatever it was. Whole corner was wide open right before the end zone. Easy pitch and catch for Bo Nix and company. They're up 10-6. All right, what do the Jets do on their next possession? 3 and out and punt. Great. All right. Broncos, they're chipping away. They're moving the ball a little bit, but not all that much. They get to midfield and then end up the drive stalls, so the Jets force a punt. Good. Okay. Next possession for the Jets. Sack. Incomplete pass. Sack. Punt. Get rid of the ball. Stop holding on to the ball for 5 seconds in the pocket, man. If it's not there, you're Justin Fields. Take off and run. Run the ball. Throw it away. Don't take a 10-yard sack every time you drop back to pass. It was unbelievable. Every single possession the Jets had on offense, they were taking sacks. It was almost like Justin Fields was afraid to throw the ball today. Didn't want to pull the trigger. Refused to pull the trigger. Jets defense, though, they do their job. They force a punt. They get some help from Denver making mistakes, but they're playing okay, all things considered. All right, last drive before the half. It's 10-6. They finally pick up a first down on their 5th drive of the day. But the Jets offense is really showing no urgency at all. Very bizarre. It to me screamed that they don't trust the quarterback. They were just still running in the 2-minute drill and got about 20 yards in 3 minutes. The Jets try a fake punt and end up picking it up. They telegraphed that it was going to happen. Thank God they picked it up as Breece Hall was lined up as the gunner, and it was a direct snap to Breece Hall. What happened at the end of the half, I don't quite know. The Jets end up getting the ball right to around midfield, so they go for it, but then they let the clock expire. If you're afraid to punt back to Denver, why aren't you throwing a Hail Mary as time expires and try to get in the end zone? Take a shot. The time management before the half, I really don't understand what this coaching staff was thinking. That was absolutely atrocious. So, okay, you're 10-6 at the half. You're only down 4 at halftime. Defense and special teams playing really good. More of the same. You got a good return from Isaiah Williams to start. Nice conversion to Josh Reynolds. Fields is running more. The Jets get into the red zone, and once again, they can't convert and get a touchdown. They have to settle for 3, makes it a 1-point game. It's 10-9. Jets defense doing their job again. They get a 3 and out. Denver did not do much of anything in the second half of this game offensively. Next possession, the Jets, they're going run heavy at this point. It's pretty a methodical drive. Not really taking many shots down the field and not really throwing the ball that much. They get to around midfield and end up punting, but a really, really good punt from Austin McNamara. And we're going to talk about this because special teams had a major positive impact for the Jets in this game. Punts it down to the 2. So the Denver Broncos are backed up in their own end. And that matters because on the first play, the Broncos would get a holding penalty in the end zone, which results in a safety. So the Jets have a lead in this game. They're up 11-10, and their offense can't do anything, but they have a lead, and the defense continues to play well. But after a safety, not only do the Jets get a lead, but they get the ball. So can you do anything on offense at this point? No. They go 3 and out. Another third down sack. You can't win like this. You can't win games with the way that their offense was playing. It was embarrassing at this point. Absolutely embarrassing. Jets defense, they force a 3 and out again. They're playing hard. Jermaine Johnson looked good. Brownlee was flying all over the field. They were making plays. Again, they allowed 13 points on the game. Spoiler, they allowed 13 points. They did their job. Anyway, they force a punt. Jets get it back. Garrett Wilson looked like he fumbled. Thank God it was reviewed. The Broncos would have recovered it, but after review, they realized it was incomplete, kind of bailed out that one. But the Jets didn't capitalize off of being bailed out because there would be another sack on third down, and the Jets are forced to punt. Denver, okay, 3 and out. At this point, 13:42 left in the fourth quarter. So you have a full quarter and about another 2 minutes, right? Or a minute and change, whatever. Bo Nix had 0 passing yards in the second half at this point. I can't stress enough. Like, we gave the defense shit for the first 5 weeks of the year, deservedly so, because they've been horrible. But I have to, in this postgame, emphasize how good the defense was today. They were doing their job. They were getting 3 and out after 3 and out after 3 and out. I feel like I just watched the 2022 or 2023 game for the New York Jets. I really do. Jets run the ball 5 times and punt. And just another time management disaster before the punt. They wasted a timeout, 4th and 1. They put the offense out. We're going to go for it on 4th and 1. They take the timeout, then decide to punt. If you don't want to go for it, that's fine. But either A, challenge the spot, or try to draw them off sides, take the penalty and punt. Do something. You can't waste the timeout and then punt it away. That another embarrassing display right there. The Jets defense starts to break a little bit. Bend but don't break. There was a gain of 23 on 3rd and 8. It just seemed like, again, they're picking on Jamie and Sherwood there. They march right into the end zone. Finally, on 3rd and goal from the 10, the Jets defense stands tall, and the Broncos would have to settle for a field goal. So they go back up 13-11. But there's still time. There's like 5 minutes left in the game. 3 and out. Here's the sequence. Run, throw it behind Garrett Wilson, take a sack, punt. How the Jets don't, at any of the points here in the second half, is go, holy crap, Justin Fields does not have it today. We got to go to Tyrod Taylor because our quarterback is too afraid to pull the trigger on the ball. How do you not go to Tyrod at some point? Even if you want to give the illusion that you're going to still evaluate Justin Fields for the final 11 games of the year, you have an opportunity to win a game. And they didn't make any change. Jets are forced to punt back. And again, the Jets defense does their job. They get a 3-and-out. Jermaine Johnson comes up with a huge sack on third down. They're going to force Denver to punt. They're backed up so deep in their own territory. Off the Austin McNamara, beautiful punt again. He might be the best player on the team. The Jets start with the ball on the 47 after the punt. They got to go like 15 yards to get into field goal range and to win this game. Here's how the Jets offense went. Final drive. First play, you fumbled snap. Breece Hall, thank God, scoops it up and ends up running for 7 yards. It turns into a positive play. Another miss to Garrett Wilson, incomplete. It was late throw to Garrett. Sack. Now it's ended up 4th and 8. The sack came first, then the incomplete pass on a late throw to Garrett Wilson. Could he have held on? Maybe. But if the ball's out a second and a half earlier, he catches it and runs out of bounds right around the first down marker. And to end the game, fitting ending, Justin Fields on 4th down is sacked for the 9th time. 9 sacks, 55 yards. Jets lose 13-11. Denver kneels out the clock. As a team, the New York Jets on 12 total drives had 1.4 yards per play. They had 82 yards of offense in this game. 82. Passing yards on the game. We'll use net yards, which takes into account sacks. -10 net passing yards. They had, one more time, -10 net passing yards. On the day, Justin Fields, 9 of 17, 45 yards, 2.6 yards per attempt, 9 sacks. I mean, come on, bro. Breece Hall, they ran him 22 times, 59 yards, 2.7 yards per attempt. They couldn't really do anything on the ground. 31 carries, 92 yards, 3.0 yards per attempt on the game. Josh Reynolds, your leading receiver with 25 receiving yards. I mean, what can you possibly say? What can I possibly say? The Jets defense locked down in the second half. They gave up 1 touchdown. The Jets were giving up 30-plus points every single week. They allowed 13. The players-only meeting worked. Quinn Williams calls a players-only meeting. I was comparing it to in 2022 when he's screaming on the sideline. I forget if it was White Cotton, the defensive line coach, or Ulbrich, whatever. And the defense locks down and was great the rest of the year. This game against Denver, they had the players-only meeting that Quinn called, and they were good. They were flying all over the field. Bo Nix, 19 of 30, 174 yards, 5.8 yards per attempt. He did get a touchdown, no picks. But as a team rushing, Denver 26 carries, 78 yards. That's 3 yards a carry. J.K. Dobbins, they held him to 14 carries for 40 yards, under 3 yards a carry. They struggled with Bo Nix a little bit, but that's going to happen. The Jets can never stop a quarterback that's athletic running the ball. Just embarrassing. They find ways to lose games. That's what this team does. Find its way to lose games. Defense finally looks good. First time in 6 weeks, the defense looks good. And the offense doesn't score a touchdown and has -10 net passing yards. Storyline this week's not going to be it's not Justin Fields' fault, right? You put that one to bed. I know there were a lot of people upset about the talk this week about stat padding at the end of games. There were no stat padding. It was week 2 all over again. So through 6 weeks, Fields very up and down. Week 2 and week 6, horrible. Week 1, awesome. Week 4 and 5, okay. That's where you're at. Just a horrendous display of football. And once again, would like to apologize to the great people of the United Kingdom who had to sit through that game. We do it every week. This is what I'm going to do it next Sunday against Carolina. The great Jets-Carolina Panthers game next week. And then Jets Cincinnati the following week. Joe Flacco against Justin Fields, more than likely. Fantastic. 0-6. Sound off in the comments. I'm Matt O'Leary. I'll catch you next time.